Afternoon, Carlos.
Afternoon.
We'll start in the usual place if we can with your team news. Have you got any new issues coming out of your midweek fixture firstly?
No, everything is positive. We continue having the same player that we continue having involved, the same player that we had involved in the last previous 2 games. Then everything continues in the same way. The only player that is going to finish his isolation process is Benhema today. So tomorrow he will be available to be with the squad too. So, and it's one decision that I have to make in terms of the number of days that he was in isolation, then the number of days that he lost in the trainings.
Do you feel he could come straight back in, or do you think you might have to play it carefully with him?
No, he was making some training at home. He was trying to don't lose never the fitness condition. Of course, never is the same to make this training than to be working specific as a keeper. So tomorrow in the morning, he can make some work, and depending about the feeling, he can be available. And we are not going to feel all the feeling that we have, but at the same time, we are calm because we know that we have 2 keepers. We have Joel Pereira and Ryan Schofield that both were involved in the last 2 previous games. We are full of confidence with both.
Can I ask you about the progress as well of Pieper and Alex Pritchard? Where are they both at right now? How far off are they?
They continue being in the same process. They continue being in the last part of the recovery, but any of both players are going to be involved tomorrow.
Okay. So are they still days away, weeks away? How would you assess their chances in the coming weeks?
I hope just be days away from the next games.
On both of those?
On both of us.
Excellent news. You mentioned your goalkeepers there. Can we just talk about the differences between them? You're fully confident in both of them, in Schofield and Pereira, but how do you view the differences? What do you think the strengths and weaknesses are to both of those characters?
I think, first of all, both keepers are keepers that they don't have, like they are young keepers. Whereas Schofield is younger than Joel, but both players doesn't have a high number of games in championship in the back. But both keepers were playing in Scotland, playing in the highest level, playing enough number of minutes too. So in terms of the difference, we can say that Pereira arrived to the club because Schofield was injured during the pre-season. Schofield lost a few weeks or some months in the pre-season, so he was losing his level because he was one injury in one part that for very specific and very necessary for the keeper. In this moment, we signed Joel because we are watching that he is a keeper, that he has a very good distribution with the foot, that he is very brave in the areas, that he covers very well the back in the space in the defenders, and at the same time, he's a keeper that can allow us to have different options of saves in the goal. That is the most important thing as a keeper. And I think Ryan Schofield is different type of keeper. He's one keeper that maybe we cannot say that the distribution with the foot is one of the highest strengths. He's enough comfortable to play with the foot. He's enough comfortable in areas. And of course, he's one keeper that he can make unbelievable saves. So one of the more strengths that he has is like, he's a keeper that one ball that for another keeper are impossible to save. He has the skill to do the save and to can help the team to win this type of games that demand this type of actions. So I think both are different and both are enough good keepers to can be with us in the team.
Do you believe you can rotate goalkeepers? Then you've mentioned Benhema may come back in, but do you believe it's a position where you can play a different goalkeeper depending on the opposition you're facing?
I think always this is one possibility, because when you are expecting one type of game and it's very clear that the team have one clear identity, you can use one goalkeeper that is more adapted to this type of situation. But at the same time, the goalkeeper needs to be adapted for every type of scenario. So we cannot say that one keeper is a good goalkeeper if he's not ready to face one type of game. It's not true. So the keeper needs to be ready to face any scenario. I think from we start in the league, Benhema was showing that he was enough fit and with a lot of confidence, and he had helped a lot the team to get positive results and at the same time to perform very well. So that's why, like I told you, for me, the 3 keepers need to have the conditions to be the first keeper in the game for the team, because this is something important that is one required of the keepers, because in any moment the second can be the first and the third can be the second, and as a second in any moment you can be the first. So that's why we are happy that we have 3 goalkeepers that both can be the first keeper for us. We start with Benhema because we thinking that his experience will help more the team. And the reaction of him or his answer was the best one that we can receive from him. And that's why he was continue playing the games. That's why he won the possibility to be the first choice for us as a first keeper. This is what we understand. After his process of isolation, we need to make a decision. In that moment, Joel had more experience in terms of number of trainings with the team because he didn't lose any training because he was fit and he was playing number of games with the B team. That's why if he was developing himself a lot, if he was playing with full of confidence and making a good performance with the B team, he did a fantastic save with the B team. We were full of confidence with him to play with Stoke City. And after the game of Stoke City was not the most success game for him. He knows this. I know, like I trust a lot on him. I know that he can do a better game. If you don't trust in one keeper, you can say that the game was in the level of the keeper, but this is not true. The game was not in the level of Joel Pereira. That's why we decided to change for this type of game and for the circumstances with Ryan Scofield. And Joel played the game with the B team the next day. The next day, when he was playing with the B team, he did amazing save, very good distribution, so he made a very good game too. And for me, Ryan Scofield, in our game, he competed really well, knowing that was the first time that he's playing this year. So nowadays, we have the option, the positive option that Benjamin is going to come back tomorrow, and we have Joel and Ryan Scofield, that both keepers arrived for a good performance in the last game. Joel with the B team and Scofield with the first team. So this is the decision, the hard decision that I have to make this type of decisions.
And at the other end of the field, do you have a decision to make there as well? Danny Ward, is he now in a position where he could start for you? Is he ready to go now?
Yeah, I think with the pass of the weeks and with the pass of the trainings and with the pass of the games, with the number of games that start to accumulate or the minutes that he started to accumulate, every time he's going to be more fit and every time he's going to be more ready to help the team. We don't have any doubt about him, about his performance. It's very positive that he start to add minutes in the back because he's a player that have lost many weeks from we start, from one injury that this type of injury, we need to take very careful for this injury. It was long, and at the same time, we cannot make any excess in this process. But I think his reaction is being very positive. And of course, any available player have the option to be in the first 11. And after it's our choice to decide what can be the best player for each game.
Does that help Fraser Campbell as well? Do you think he's played a lot of minutes, hasn't he, Fraser Campbell? He's played 90 minutes in the last 4 games for you. He's just told us he's enjoying that, but it is hard work. So having Danny Ward could help him as well, couldn't it?
I think every player needs to be prepared for this type of situation because Championship demands this. And of course, the rotation of the players in one solution that you can have to share a little bit the minutes, like you say, and both players are the 2 strikers that we have in the first team. And at the same time, we have with Phillips the third option as a striker that we have in the team too. That's why he was involved in the previous game. And after, for me, the strikers, everyone in one different level, I think they need to be in the level where they can play consecutive and they can play 90 minutes every game. Because this is, but not only the strikers, every player in the team. That's why Toffolo need to be ready. This is why Schiller, Steelman, Sarr, Hawk, any player that is in the squad right now have to be ready. They have to be ready to be prepared to play 90 minutes every 2 or 3 days. Because this is why Championship is demanding to us and we need to give these answers.
Middlesbrough, what do you make to them at the moment? A side very strong defensively right now.
Yes, they are the team that have conceded less goals until now in the Championship. It talks a lot about how strong they are in defense, and at the same time they are dangerous team in attack because they have fast wingers, they have offensive midfielders, they have good playmakers and good strikers, and with a couple of options in each position with a very high level. That's why they are strong in defense, and at the same time they have a lot of possibilities to be dangerous in attack too. I think that's why they are in a good moment right now. That's why they are in a good situation in the table. But at the same time, we analyze them like every team. We played the other day versus Wickham, and I say that analyzing them was a very tough game and very complicated, and they are in the low part of the table. So in Middlesbrough, who is more in the higher part of the table, is going to be another demanding game. But is anything I don't think any type of difference between the teams, because in championship, every team is going to be strong. Everything in different way, they are going to have one different type of demands. We know that Middlesbrough is a team that defends very similar to us, very, very similar to us. And this is something that we need to know how to attack, because they have one clear style, different style in defense. And at the same time, we need to be very protective, because in attack, they have many dangerous players that they can use to the directly attack, to the counter-attack, or to combine, because they have different type of possibilities.
And are you looking forward to coming up against Neil Warnock as a head coach for you for the first time as well? Someone who's had thousands of games under his belt, and he's been doing this for decades. He's been very successful in this division. How much of a challenge is it for you to try and outwit him?
Yes, always. It's a challenge. I never are focused just in the coaches, but at the same time, when you know the coach, you know the background of each one, and I respect a lot this coach, because he has a lot of successes back of him in his career, and this is something very positive. And one of these successes was here with Huddersfield. So always a lot of respect, first of all, for the coach that has helped the club where I am working right now, and at the same time, I have a lot of respect for the coaches that have successes in the back, because this is never easy. And after Cardiff, after the promoted Cardiff, the last year he arrived to Middlesbrough in a complicated moment. He made that the team continue in the championship, and now they are making a very good job. That's why they are in a good position in the table. So always this type of teams and this type of coaching always are a challenge for us, but a very positive challenge with a lot of respect to them.
Thank you, Carlos. All the best tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Johnny. Dom, would you pick up, please?
Yeah, hi, Carlos. Where are you looking for improvement from your team from the other night against Wycombe?
I think every game is totally different. It's like, we know that the other day the team had to compete really well, because the level of aggressiveness, in the positive way, I cannot say in the negative way, in the aggressiveness of Wycombe, the level of the demanding in all the set pieces, in all the second ball was very, very high. And I think the answer of the team was fantastic. From the attack point of view, was a team that don't allow you to be free with the ball, because they make a lot of press. And I think that the team was ready to beat the press in defensive half. And only in offensive half, we were not ready enough to be the structure in defense that they saw. And that's why we didn't create many number of chances. We controlled the game in a lot of part of the game. We create some chances, but we cannot say that was the game where we created more chances. But at the same time, the consequence of this is was a team that they demand you a lot in defense in some moments, with a lot of set pieces that move you to be very close to your goal, and after you need to go again to go to offensive half. So it's one type of game that was demanding some levels in attack and in defense, that I think the team solved really, really well in defense, because for me, it's not easy to finish the game without conceding any goal and any important chance. And at the same time, was a demanding game in attack that I think the team solved well. We were creating some chances, but of course, we didn't score the goal, and we didn't create maybe more chances that allow us to score the goal. We need to analyze, criticizing ourselves, trying to improve always the level of the team.
3 of the next 4 matches that you play, you're at home. How important is this period going to be for your team?
Now, always, of course, when you are playing consecutive games, to avoid every 2 days one travel, always is important, but because it's not the same to play after 2 days again, and you need to make another travel, and you came back from one travel again. Or if you are playing at home, you are in your condition, you know your hotel, you are close to everything, you don't have to spend time in the bus, you don't have to spend time in different hotels, so everything is more concentrated. You can be more focused in the preparation of the game, not in the journey, in the traveling, in these things. But at the same time, as a team, as a mentality, we have the mentality that we are not going to play in different way. We are playing at home and we are playing away. We just trying to be adapted and trying to explode the weaknesses of the opponent, trying to create something important in each game. So our mentality is not going to change a lot. The only difference for me right now, because in the moment the fans come back to the stadium, for me, it start to be different between to play home and to play away. Now, without the fans, I think this difference is more just that you recognize your stadium. It's always nice to be in your stadium, and at the same time that you avoid the traveling. This is something important too. Is the higher difference now without half our fans in our stadium, that it will be a high difference between to play home and to play away.
Some clubs in the Championship are going to have fans back in the stadium in the next few weeks. How do you feel about the situation?
I think this is a very positive step for the football world. It's no doubt that to recover all the fans in our stadium is something that makes us feel very, very happy, because it says that the situation is improving for one part, and at the same time that they start to be safe to be in the stadiums. And our work always is focused in our fans. So we cannot imagine our work without our fans. That's why in the moment you are watching them to be in your back, supporting the team, always a very positive news for the world, because it means that the situation is a little bit better, and at the same time for the football player, because it shows that we can make them enjoying, feeling them close to us.
Do you think it is unfair that some clubs will have fans in the stadium and Huddersfield will have to wait a bit longer?
I think this is one rule that the government need to make. My feeling is that I want our fans to be safe. I want to have our fans with us. Is our feeling is clear that we want to have them with us, but at the same time we want the more safe condition for our fans too. So because we don't want that they can suffer any negative consequence of this process, then I don't know who create the rules, but I hope who create the rules be a fair rules for everyone, and especially in the safe condition of the people.
We've played over a quarter of the season. When do you think the Championship will start to take shape in the league? When do you start to look at the table?
I think this year the table is going to be very dynamic, even if, of course, with the pass of the games, you can start to see more difference. It's something that is clear, but at the same time, with the number of games that you play in 1 week, so we are saying that from Saturday to Saturday, you have 3 games. So the situation in 1 week change a lot. It's like you don't have a lot of time to assimilate the winning, and you don't have a lot of time to react from the defeat. So I only can say that this year Championship challenge a lot the character of the teams, challenge a lot the character of the players, challenge a lot the ambitions of the clubs, because when you are playing in a row, you need to be very ready to face this type of moment, because everything moves from one way to another way very fast. And in the position on the table is exactly the same. Everything can move very fast. But of course, when with the accumulation of the games, you are watching which is the club that they are taking more regularity in this process.
That's great. Thank you, Carlos.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Dom. Leon, do you want to pick up there, please?
Yeah, thanks, David. Hello, Carlos. You okay?
Hello.
How's Chris Schindler? How's he doing?
No, Schindler is following the regulations. We know that here the regulation from the medical point of view say that after to have one concussion, you need to rest 6 days if you don't have any type of headache or any feeling. I think his process of adaptation is being very positive, but now he's going to be part of these 6 days that he need to be following the medical advice.
Okay, so he'll be back next week then for the games next week.
We hope so. Yes.
Okay. I'm just wondering, you've got an extra day preparation for the game, Carlos. That's something that you must be pretty pleased about. Obviously, Middlesbrough played Wednesday and you played Tuesday.
I think if I am focusing ourselves, always to have 3 days between the games is something positive, because it allows you to have 1 day of preparation. Usually when you only have 2 days between the games, and at the same time you travel, the first 2 days are more linked with the recovery than with the preparation, and you have to make the preparation more with the video than with the preparation on the pitch, even if you can do something. I think having this day off today, we can prepare a little bit better, or we can do things that after we want to do in the pitch. So this extra day always one advantage. And at the same time, we lose the advantage that we have today, we lost in the previous game versus weekend, because we didn't have the same, we have 1 day less. So this situation is going to move in the 2 teams. I think when you have a lot of games in a row, the team with high number of squads can make more rotation and can have more alternatives, and the teams or the club with less number of options in each position can have less number of choices, and they will repeat more the situation. At the same time, after one defeat, the recovery always is like a little bit worse than after one winning. When you win one game, always the confidence helps you to recover from the psychological point of view better. So I think there are many aspects that can have an impact in this type of recovery. That's why we are going to try to put our team in the best preparation, just thinking in ourselves.
Middlesbrough, a very strong physical side, good defensively. If you can get a win, that could be a big result psychologically in your season.
I think every winning is a very positive, like you say, psychological true result. And at the same time, from the points and from all the consequences that one winning has, always is very important for the players to see that the effort is bring to them a one compensation, like a reward from the efforts of the players. But at the same time, we need to analyze our team more than with the winnings or with the defeats or with the drawings. We need to be analyzing a lot the team, what we are able to do and what we are doing in each game. So our higher focus have to be this: how we are perform right now and how we can perform how we can perform in the perfect situation, and always try to work the difference between what we are doing and what we can do. Always is going to be like this. Not going to be the result always is important, but after to analyze the team, always we are going to be more focused in the things, in the difference between what we are doing and what we are able to do. So more than the result, we need to be focused on this, because I think when we are focused in the performance of the team, at the end, the result is the consequence of the good performance of the team.